Ladies and gentlemen, scholarship in our current system focus on academic rather than financial. With limited quota, scholarship getting more and more overwhelmed interest, getting more and more challenges to get a scholarship. Our motion today is this House belief that scholarship should only be granted on the basis of financial necessity. Jump into the definition. Scholarship is a grant of payment made to support students' education awarded on the basis of academic or other achievement. And financial necessity is the needs of economical support because of the students came from low income family. That's why this house believes that scholarship, that a payment made to support student education, is only be granted on the basis of financial necessity from low income family. Jump into our limitation. We have 4 limitations that we want to provide. The first, the students need to be excellent. And the second one, proof by annual income and occupation details to be granted, and then granted on low or middle class income students, and also granted to excellent orphan. Our argument is current system education in status quo, whether scholarship is granted without economic evaluation on students, can lead to massive challenge for poorer students to compete among the richest. Our scholarship system can make the life of the rich kid easier and harder way around for the unfortunate one. We can see that in everyday life, the more richest kid that have an excellency in their education, academic education, have a lot of easiness to get a scholarship in private school rather than the poorer kids in public school. And our society needs to see the priority. We have to get the equality of education. That is our priority in our society, in our nation, in Indonesia. Education is one of the top priority to improve. To get the equality of education is important because it can make our society improved. Richer kids smart because they are rich. They get the easier of tutor, learning medium, etc. to learn. And it is contradictive with the poorer one. They often less smart because they don't get as much facility. If anyone can compete, even if they are in poverty, they are worth awarded with scholarship. That is our main point why this is important to awarded the poorer one that excellent with the scholarship to improve the education. I want to get into the poverty change. There come into our interest in our side of government that our society, especially in our nation, Indonesia, priority to break the chain of poverty. This system can contribute extremely well because one of the top priority in our society is improvement agenda to break the chains is education. Richer, excellent kids that capable, economically speaking, to pay their own tuition doesn't need as much aid as the poorer one to achieve our mission, and we need to give them changes to break the chain with improve their education. When there is education, they can break the chain of poverty and pass their education to generation. For example, we have 2 students and watch 2 students, one rich and one poor students. If the poor kids doesn't get education, they will still pass the chain of poverty to their children, to their generation. But if they get education, the poorer one get education, they can break the chain and they can improve our society by contributing to our society because they have better jobs and better education and system. And what happened to the second kids, the rich one? If the rich one doesn't get the scholarship, doesn't get the education, the higher education, they can still contribute because they can still have the money because they are rich, they are in an upper class income. And if they get the education, they will still contribute the same way because they have the money. Maybe you will argue about the motivation because they get awarded by this scholarship, but the motivation can lead to better solution. We can change the scholarship system as award with trophy or other things, but not economic aid, because economical aid is very important. It's very important to create the better society, to break the change. The better education means the better society will become. And our next point is, in positive sum world, different from ancient one, better education lead to improvement of society. Why is that? Because in ancient one, we have the fixed outcome of popularity. Then if we want to get rich, we have to take some and other people will get less and we get more. That is in a negative sum world. But in modern era, even in postmodern era, we are in a positive sum world, different from ancient one. If they have more and more education, if they can contribute, and if you want to contribute to your society or you want to improve your society, you have to get other people to improve their self, and then they can improve their society. That is how positive sum world change. For example, if a woman in Pakistan have an poor education, they can less contribute to the world, and they can not contribute to the space agency of Pakistani or become a doctor. Then there will be less doctor and there will be less people to handle people with illness, with disease. And then if they have education, they can contribute. If they education, they can focus on their career, they can get less kids, and they can contribute using their brain. For example, if you want to go to Mars, you have to have a lot of people want to go to Mars. That's what's happened. So you have to improve your education. Our space race is just circled between United States of America and then Russian and then India. But how about all the people in Africa have the same interest to go to space? They will using their brain. Our society will advance more than we have now. If we want to cure the cancer, we have to have more brains to think about the cure, and then we can cure people with cancer very easily because we have a lot more brain. And as a government of Indonesia, as a government team, we can get full support for these things because first one, our people is necessarily want to have the economical aid. That's why if we make this motion become implemented, we can get full support for society because they can because the poorer one can say their support because they are getting help by our government to improve their education and break the change of poverty in generations. And our richer kids and richer society can still be prosper because they can still have their money because they don't need as much as we need. That's why on our side of government, we strongly agree with this motion that this house believe that scholarship should only be granted on the basis of financial necessity if the kids are excellent, rather than on the academic performance, because it will lead to inequality. And in our side of government, we can get the full support of our society, and our status quo can be better, and then our society needs to see the priority. The richest kids can get their well, and the poorer kids get well. We can break poverty, change, we can improve our economy. Thank you so much.